Greetings everyone, this is Alt Lexington, continuing my leveling of my Agent of Yesterday character with part 29. Excuse me. Oh, go away. In the last video, part 28, we played Second Wave, where the Jem'hadar from the Dominion that disappeared during the Dominion War in the wormhole reappeared and took over Deep Space Nine. So here we are in the Bajoran system where we've retreated. I also played the new Link, did a replay of that in the last video because I forgot to collect the temporal probe. I played that yesterday, made that video yesterday, so today I can just do a little bit of housekeeping tasks before I start an episode. The next episode in line, which is going to be called Of Bajor. But for now, let's just do some general housekeeping tasks. The Ferengi is only at 1, Romulan is now at 2, Klingon at 1, Federation at 1, the Admiralty. 16 completed assignments. Now why can't I collect this one? Maybe it's inventory space. Yep, I'm lacking inventory space badly. Oh, refined today's dilithium. It's time I got rid of some of this stuff. I'm never going to use it, so I'll get rid of some of the blue stuff. Just to make space. Keep the purple stuff. And keep the Jem'hadar set. It's time I did start getting rid of stuff that I'm never going to use. No, some of it's pretty good. I'm not really looking too closely what it is because I might cry if I get rid of it. But it's hard choices have to be made when you're running out of inventory space. That will do for now. That's given me some space. So I could collect that reward. More plans for turret building. Photon torpedo platform prototype. Okay, platforms. Devices, I think. More dilithium reward. And the more important is the reputation. Let's see what we've got here. Yep, the dailies look like they're all complete. We're going to run out of marks now because our Agent of Yesterday has used up all his special bonus marks, I think, more or less. Except for any more he's going to earn soon. get these daily ones filled up first because they're the most important since they give the biggest reward. Glad I made space in the inventory now for these boxes that I'm getting from this. I might just dump a load of it back into the replicator. Yep, we are running out of marks. So Agents of Yesterday gives you enough marks to get to level 60, which we obtained in the last video. So now let's put on some fresh projects. Well, there's no daily there, but there is tier 2. And all we had was 5 marks, I think. Yep. So now we've reached tier 2 in the Omega Task Force. And we've got a bit of a dilithium reward, I think. But always good to keep going. Nope, that's an hourly. So the hourlies go down here. But I'm not going to fill them up right now. Let's just check. Got a tier 2 on Rukara. Wait for it to claim. So we did Task Force Omega tier 2 and Rukara tier 2 and more hourlies. The hourlies aren't so important. New Romulus. Well, we aren't furthering New Romulus. Well, we are now. Oops, wrong button. Unselect. That's New Romulus up to tier 2. Even though we haven't watched any of the recordings. But it's given us a new mission. I didn't get an accolade for tier 2 of Omega. Now for Dyson, tier 2. Accolade and another assignment. Hang on, let me just check. The dailies aren't coming up, are they? Just the hourlies. .472 still needs several hours to complete. Oh, we've got tier 2. I'm getting confused. I'm doing so many at once. No accolade for tier 2 of Counter Command. Maybe have to go and read logs or something. And Delta, tier 2. Getting all the Delta done before we even go to the Delta Quadrant. Just the hourlies. Make sure they're 400. Iconian, tier 2. No accolade there either. No daily. But the AOYs are there. Terran Task Force, Tier 2. No daily, but the AOYs are there. Check that they're 400. Temporal Defense, Tier 2. Sounded like an accolade, but it was actually a mission, I think. And Lucari was after agents of yesterday, so we can't do that one. Let's see what we got given. Well, I can get rid of the blue ground weapons. Just to make sure there's space in my inventory. And have a look at what we've got here. Hidden cameras on New Romulus. Can't do that one until I go to New Romulus because I'm playing the episodes in order. Message from another time. We can do that one. Unlikely neighbours. Watch previous recordings. No, can't do that one. That's a New Romulus one. Secret shuttle codes. Access the shuttle recording on New Romulus. Can't do that one. Unexpected friend. That's Dice of Bajor is the mission we're about to do. Shall I go to Deep Space Nine now? So I can get some of those missions out the way. I think that's what I'm going to do. Even though technically, storyline wise, Deep Space Nine has been taken over by the Jem'hadar. But if we leave the Bajoran system, we can go to we can still go to Deep Space Nine. We just don't have to go to it in character. Acquired mission measured from another universe. Sometimes missions don't come up till you change map. But let's see if we can go to Deep Space Nine. Jem'hadar occupied Deep Space Nine, but because we're not on mission, the Jem'hadar shouldn't be there. Yeah. I've broken the fourth wall. I've gone to the Jem'hadar occupied Deep Space Nine, and look, it's not occupied. So in the storyline it's occupied, but out of the storyline it's not. So I go up to the operations level and over to Commander Savish Mina and recording number 2.
Report stardate 9528.1. Commander narrator reporting. There are days where the duties of my chosen profession are almost too much to bear. My assignment took me to the 23rd century and my homeworld, Cardassia Prime. Posing as an agent of the Obsidian Order was repugnant, but it provided access to the resources I needed to succeed. A group with Nakul, working with local revolutionaries, was planning to detonate a photon bomb in a marketplace. I exposed their operation to the Order. Their response was predictably swift and final. Had the Nakul succeeded, they would have started a chain of events leading to the founding of a Cardassian democracy in 2313. They would have also claimed the life of a 5-year-old boy named Prokal Dukat.
How is a Cardassian democracy a bad thing? I mean, yes, timeline would have been changed by it, but maybe changed for the better.
I have ensured the birth of Prokal's infamous son and preserved the timeline. I have done my duty, but take no pride in doing so.
No, you wouldn't. You've saved the timeline from being altered for the better. Terran Task Force, recording 2.
Personal log, Admiral Lita. Our temporal visitors have given us quite a few gifts. At first, my engineers were pessimistic about understanding future technology. A few trips to the agony booth have cured them of their misgivings. Our benefactors have come from our far future to ensure that their world comes to pass. For that to happen, we must defeat the Iconians, and our descendants have given us the weapons to do so. Of course, as Admiral in command of the fleet's flagship, I must insist on the first set of upgrades. Once the Enterprise has the power to dominate the fleet, I can give new weapons to my subordinates, but only to those who prove their loyalty.
I really like the way this actress has sunk her teeth into this role. She's really doing a good job. Must be fun to play a baddie from time to time. So, we can't access hidden camera on New Romulus because we're not going there yet. Unlikely neighbours, what's this? That's a Dyson Sphere 1 for Tier 1. Secret shuttle codes, that's a Romulan 1 for Tier 2. Unexpected friend, that's a Dyson 1 for Tier 2. So we've got Tier 1 and 2. These 4 missions are Tiers 1 and 2 of New Romulus and Dyson. So we can't do them yet until we get to that part of the storyline. Otherwise we'll end up getting accolades at the wrong period in the storyline. Just like visiting Deep Space Nine here was in the wrong period of the storyline, but that's just a little sin, not a big one. The only proper mission is off Bajor, which is what we're about to play. Old style, beam me up. No, I don't want to dock yet. Exit system. There must be 2 timelines going on at once. And that's the roleplay answer. The one where Deep Space Nine is free, and the one where the Jem'hadar have come through a wormhole. And we've got to correct the alternate timeline to be match the current timeline, so they merge together. Well, at least that's the roleplay answer. So let's just check to see if I got some dilithium for that. No, well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I can't refine it, whatever it is. Okay, everything's looking good. So we can do some assignments. And maybe the dailies of the Reputation have opened up as well. Now, what was I going to do here? Got to raise one of these scores to level 15, so projectiles. I forget what I do sometimes. And there's still one more slot because you can only do 3 projects at once, so I might as well do kit modules to get that up to 5. Admiralty. Well, Romulan seems to have skipped ahead, so Federation. There we go. 50 engineering and science. Whoops. Oh, we don't want to go too heavy. But we might have no choice. Not that it really matters, because levelling up these doesn't really matter to the overall levelling of a character. So we go way too heavy on it. Klingon Empire hasn't got one. A level 2 assignment. Got to pick the assignments we can do with the ships we have. Do a Ferengi one, but we'll never get 150 psi. And I don't like using my pass tokens. I don't know why, I just don't. Maybe we'll get 55 psi. 20, 40. Yeah, we're going to go way too. Whoops, wrong button. Oh, the assignment seemed to have started anyway, even though I put the wrong ship on it. Now for duty officer assignments. Well, I figured if I don't want to donate too much to my fleet via dilithium and energy credits at the moment, it doesn't matter if I get some duty officers to donate. That's always useful. So we'll get these ones out of the way and see if there's any space left to do duty officer assignment, to get some duty officers like civilians or something, or colonists. Forget that, 50,000. Contraband, crew evaluations, therapy sessions. That one gives a buff because it's got a green description. If you get a critical success on this assignment, you'll get a buff. But when do I ever get critical successes? I didn't on the weapons one that I just finished earlier, I recall from yesterday. First officer. Department heads. Well, the operations officer usually gives colonists, so that was good for fleet donations and build up some fleet credits. Host a poker game. Ooh, Dabo. Okay, I'm a tactical character, so I'll do the tactical and security ones. Illegal gambling, and I'm playing Dabo. Security, nothing. Engineering. Oh, there's some good quality assignments there, I suppose. I'm not really reading them properly or looking at them too closely. Because it doesn't really matter as long as you get them all done eventually. Well, that's all the assignments we can do by looks of things. Takes forever to get these done, so it doesn't really matter what assignment you do, because you're bound to get them all eventually. Just persistence. On my main character, it took me 4 years to get them done. But that, I wasn't really paying attention to them. I wasn't really doing them as much as I should be, because I couldn't really be bothered with them. Now, I wonder if there's any changes that can be made. Not really. Not at this level. We don't have any better kits or armor, do we? Doesn't look like it. And why have I got the backlift as my primary? Ah, we've got 3 points here for Intel specialization. Oh, that's a good opportunity to get some of these ground ones done. There we go. I doubt we've got another clicker yet. Won't even bother looking because I'm that sure we haven't got one. There's still a lot of mastery to go on this ship. And I don't want to do red alerts to get mastery, even though that's the quickest way, because I want to play the episodes first in order. So let's go to Bajor. Did I go too fast? Enter Bajoran system. Recheck my inventory to make sure there's space. Yes. Okay, we're ready to start this episode. And those look like Cardassian ships, and they look friendly. Why? They're not true way. Union ships, I suppose. Just got to clean a bit away from my mouse, clean my mouse a little before I can pin down. There we go. Yep, this character is levelling up. Waltz and all, everything's been seen. Pin down, at last. Only 30 minutes into the video and we've only just started the episode. Welcome to the city of Hafon, Admiral Colt. Commander Messi Akabi asked me to inform her when you arrived. She's waiting for you in her office at the Starfleet base. I'll add the coordinates to your map. Sorry, my mouth is dry. Plus, I'm not a very good reader. Dyslexia, coupled with poor eyesight. Continue. So, report to Commander Messi Akabi on Bajor. Let's try and see if we can make this primary. So it's at the top of the list. Okay, so we're reporting to Commander Messi Akabi. I outrank her. It's not right for her to give me orders or assignments. She's low ranking. Let's just have a look at Bajor. Beautiful map. This is a great place to come and relax. Have a relaxing play and do all your HUD stuff. Nice relaxing city. We just have a walk around and have a look. And I wonder if I've chatted to these people before. Well, we won't do it right now. We can just enjoy Bajor for a bit and look at the Bajoran women in the short skirts, just like original Star Trek. I suppose that's why humans get along so well with Bajorans. Same fashions. Mira Bajor had a hologram there. I had a thought last night. I think looking at this water reminds me of a thought I had last night. I wonder if there's an episode where you get to go underwater, like a submarine or something. I mean, you get a lot of awaiting ground episodes, but you could kind of do an underwater battle in a submarine or a shuttle converted for underwater usage, and you could have like space battles underwater. Like the same kind of battles you have in space, but have them underwater. Sort of go to an ocean world or something. Do you remember that episode of Voyager where Tom Paris found an ocean world and took the Delta Flyer into it and did a mission in an ocean? He got himself demoted, but it'd be nice to have an episode like that, wouldn't it? Maybe the devs need to be informed about that, give them an idea. Some underwater episodes with submarines that fire proper propelling torpedoes. Or energy weapon, a new kind of energy weapon that works underwater only. Or even a spacesuit adapted to be a scuba suit. So you can have ground battles underwater. That would be a good idea. I should mention that to those people on the stream, on the official Star Trek Online stream. That might be interesting. Anyway, a bit more of a look around first before we go to Commander Messi. Oh look, Klingons at the bar. What do you expect? They took over the bar. They moved in and took over the bar. I'm surprised that isn't their base of operations. It's a great map, this. Is that Starfleet medical sign? I think so, since the minimap is pointing elsewhere. This is the Starfleet area. That looks like a United Federation of Planets symbol, whereas this symbol looks like a Starfleet symbol. I know this episode because they get you to do lots of little mini plays, which is quite interesting for a change. It takes you out of your normal routine of just doing an episode full on. Anyway, I believe Commander Messi is in here. Hey, this office is a mess. I see you live up to your name. Okay.
Time is short.
Well, thanks for that. Are you being paid by the word, or are you going to speak your lines? I think the problem with some of these is when they don't speak, it's because it's taking a long time to load until it's too late to load the lines. Welcome to Bajor. This will serve as our base of operations while we work to retake Deep Space Nine. I need you to give me your best here. Everyone needs to be in top shape for the counterattack on Deep Space Nine, but before that can happen, we need to make sure this base is fully operational. We're guests here on Bajor, but the locals don't view us that way. I thought that Bajor joining the Federation would be a step in the right direction, but the Bajorans in this city seem to think this is the second coming of the Cardassian occupation. Be on your best behaviour and try to do all you can to smooth some of the ruffled feathers. A civilian uprising is a headache I don't need. I'll have something for you later. Report to Lieutenant Jarell Cav first. She'll know what tasks are most critical. Okay, I've got to report to Lieutenant Jarell Cav, I think that's how it's pronounced. What's the Klingon doing there in Starfleet headquarters? Starfleet base. Not headquarters, the base. I think this person's through here if memory serves. There she is.
How can I help you?
You can tell me what to do in words rather than making me read it. Great to see you. We can use all the help we can get here. The attack on DS9 has put everything here in a tailspin. We're setting up a base to coordinate a campaign to take the station back, but it's slow going. This area of the city is older and it doesn't have the infrastructure we need. Good thing we have talented officers like you who know how to whip up a few technical miracles. Excuse me, but I'm not an engineer on this character. So I don't do miracles.
Do you need something?
She's given me a couple of assignments to try. Did a mission from Lieutenant Jarell Cav. So Starfleet or tactical. Well, let's click on tactical first. The Bajor computer network is in this part of the city. The Bajor computer network in this part of the city was built for civilian use. It can't handle the increased traffic or encryption patterns that Starfleet uses. And now with the Jem'hadar in DS9, this network is more important than ever. We need to update all of the firewall software and upgrade the network so it can handle all we're throwing at it. I know the network security was part of your tactical training. Can I depend on you to help us deal with the vulnerabilities in the network? Sure you can.
I'm here to help.
Well, you go do it then, instead of just standing there. Aggressive assimilation. There is a lot of hostility from the population, and unfortunately some of our Klingon guests have been responding in kind. We don't need trouble, but I don't want to get the militia involved. This should be something we can handle on our own. Could you go out and calm a few of these hotheads down? Starfleet aggressive assimilation, eavesdrop on electronics. You'll only need to complete one of the following missions to advance in the story. And I've accepted 2. But I'll accept that as well, because I like to do everything. Help set up the base. I think I'll do this one first, aggressive assimilation, because it means interacting with other characters. Intervene in Klingon hostilities, break up arguments in the bar, assist Bajorans in the alleys, calm down Klingons at the checkpoint. Okay, let's go do the alleys first. This is probably going to turn out to be a long video because this is a long episode, but that's because it's lots of micro episodes that make up this long episode. So I've got to break up 3, calm down 3. I've got to assist 3 lots of Bajorans in the alleys who are arguing with Klingons. Break up argument. Patag, you don't get to order me to calm down. I am a Klingon warrior, not some craven Ferengi. There is glory to be had elsewhere. Or, you need to cool off, report to the Huh? What was that? You need to cool off, report to the brig. The militia is waiting outside to take you down. Let's try this one. It seems very Klingon. So we've broken up one argument and we've got another one we can break up, maybe. That counts as 2. I wonder if we stand here, will it pop up again? Yes. That counts as 3. So we've calmed the Klingons down. In the alleyways, at least. Ooh. Talk to militia officer. Do I really want to do that? Yeah. How can I help you, Admiral? What do you do? I'm just trying to restore the peace. Normally working security here in Hafon isn't too difficult. We break up a few fights now and then, mediate disputes between civilians and coordinate with militia command in the capital. Now though, we're all working double or triple shifts and it's still not quite enough. Ah, poor you, being asked to do some work for a change. Why don't you have a jump jar stick and calm yourself down? Some of these joints are quite hot. Let's talk to this one since we're here.
How can I assist you today?
What do you do?
I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking to you, but I always wanted to join Starfleet, so this is my first week on the job. I was expecting to get months more training, but Colonel Kuba says he needs every militia member on the streets. I thought this was going to be a great job. I get to help my friends and neighbors and serve the community. But now, with the Klingons here, they're so angry and I don't want to die.
I thought a condition of joining the Federation, since the Bajorans have now joined the Federation, Bajor is part of the Federation in Star Trek Online time period, I thought a condition was to absorb the Bajoran militia into Starfleet, now that the planet is a member of the United Federation. Should be Starfleet officers on the street, not Bajoran militia. Anyway, she had another response. What's going on here?
I'm supposed to keep everyone without authorization from going past this point. But the Klingons are insisting that they don't need permission from Colonel Kubas to move about the city. I'm scared. Does that make me a coward? I want to be strong, but one of these Klingons just threatened to show me my own intestines. Oh, please, please, can't you just convince them to go someplace else?
Yes, I can help you out. You gotta take a firm hand with these Klingons. There's glory to be had elsewhere. What about you? Hang on a minute. Stand down. I am a Klingon warrior. I will not be penned like an animal. Tell this weakling to step aside or I'll cut his legs out from under him. Fight the Jem'hadar, not the Bajorans, or all KDF personnel. God, I hate it when that happens. All KDF personnel have been ordered away from public spaces. The militia is waiting outside to take you down. Fight the Jem'hadar. Okay, anyone over here need to be broken up? There is glory to be had elsewhere. So that's the problem sorted at the checkpoint. Now it's to the bar. Whether can we have a drink while we're there? Yeah, every time you get near the Klingons, the shouting starts. The rest of the city is nice and peaceful. Anyone specific to talk to with an exclamation point? Not yet. So So here's number 1, break of argument. Bah! I go where I want, I drink what I want, and I say what I want. This Symphaeo is will until unfit for a tug. Tell this protector get me a drink fit for a warrior, and maybe he'll live to see another day. I'll get him some prune juice. Oh, it's disappeared already. That's annoying. There is glory to be had elsewhere. You need time to cool off. The militia is waiting. There is glory to be had elsewhere. Fine, I'll let it go for now, but these Bajorans need to show us some more respect. There is glory to be had elsewhere. Bah! I go where I want, I do want. You bring dishonor to the Empire. You need time to cool off. The militia is waiting outside. Oh, I was expecting him to react badly, but he didn't. Return to Lieutenant General Kiev. Didn't I have another mission I might have been able to do, but it doesn't look like I need to. Help set up base, turn in aggressive assimilation. No, I didn't. I did take 2 missions, but it looks like you only need. Not only do you only need to do 1 to progress the story, but you can only do 1 period. I hope I chose the more exciting one. Wonderful. I'm more than happy to have help from anyone who is willing to lend a hand, but anyone stirring up trouble with the locals is just creating more problems. I'm glad you were here to sort it out. Well, that's nothing.
I'm here to help.
So, one of these missions we can do, contemplating captains or studying soldiers. Let's accept them both, and you never know. We have several holodeck training programs developed for the Advanced Tactical Training Program as an introduction to ground combat against the Dominion opponents. This one will pit you against a changeling. It's unclear whether there is a changeling with the Dominion forces on DS9, but it's also always a good idea to be prepared. You can use the holodeck here to run the program. And remember, we have a lot that needs to be done here on Bajor, so choose the combat training program that suits your needs the best. Don't spend all day in the holodeck. Accept.
I'm here to help.
Studying soldiers. We have several holodeck training programs to look for advanced tactical training to introduce. This one will pit you against the Jem'hadar. I know the battle is on, but it's always good to be prepared. And remember, we have a lot of it. Yep, so we've read all that, same description as the previous
I'm here
one.
to help.
So we've accepted both, but we'll probably only be able to do one of them. So do we want to fight a changeling, or do we want to fight the Jem'hadar? Changeling. A holographic simulation of fighting a changeling. Well, it's taking a while to load. It's probably going to be patching because it's been a long time since my account has played this. If I remember rightly, this might have been part of an episode once. But when the storyline was changed, they moved it to become a holodeck program. I can't remember. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Oh, I forgot to get my fix of scanning. Well, apply local quantum stasis field. Nothing there. Ah, that's because these boxes might be changelings. Nope, no changeling there. Ooh, let's just have a look around this set. It's great. Shuttle bay. It just makes me think of my temporal light cruiser and its huge shuttle bay with nothing in it. When it could have a few of these things in it. Or I could have a DJ party in there or something. Can't go out there. No anomalies detected. No anomalies detected, so what? So this is the 5th one. How much do you want to bet it's in here? There it is. Die! Ah, you got me by the throat. Slimy, sloppy thing. And he ruins all my buffs. So I swear that time to do that, just as you buffed up. No point in having buffs if you can't use them. I'm not pushing it, I'm just going easy. Tamet, she's down. Get back up, come on. There you go. Oh, we gotcha. We gotcha. Capture changeling. Yes, we get a changeling from this. That's good. We can do an assignment to pass that changeling to Starfleet security later. Even though technically it's a holographic fake changeling. I wonder if that door opens. Because I remember an episode where you'd be in a shuttle bay like this and you'd go through a door up into the control room up there. Maybe that's when you're fighting the Jem'hadar. Anyway, end simulation. Turn in contemplating captains. Let's have a chat to this guy first then. Talk to holodeck technician. Right, Reg Barkley. What do you do? My job here is to keep this holodeck running. The technology part is simple, but then I started working with Commander Ackerby to program combat training scenarios. She's demanding, but I like working for an officer who knows what she wants. If these programs can help one person get ready to fight the Jem'hadar and retake Deep Space Nine, all the work has been worth it. The more we prepare, the more lives we'll save. Okay, Bolian Reg Barkley. Yep, we can only do one of those missions, so let's turn it in. As far as we know, there are no changelings with the Deep Space Nine force, with the Force on Deep Space Nine, but it never hurts to be prepared. I'll run that program at least once a day.
I'm here to help.
Get more missions from her. Well, we'll get them both, but we'll probably only be able to do one. Scrutinizing starships. We have several holodeck programs developed for the Advanced Tactical Training Program as an introduction to space combat against Dominion opponents. This one will pit you against large Jem'hadar ships from cruisers to a dreadnought. I know you were in the battle on Deep Space Nine, but you're going to be facing more Jem'hadar before we retake the station, and you need to be ready for them. You can use the holodeck here to run the program, and remember, we have a lot that needs to be done here on Bajor, so choose the combat training program that suits your needs the best. Don't spend all day in the holodeck. But I might want to. What's this one? Fleet findings. This one will pit you against small Jem'hadar ships ranging from fighters to cruisers. I know you were in the battle on Deep Space Nine, but you're going to be facing, yeah, blah, blah, blah. We know all this.
I'm here to help.
Just a little difference in the text for each mission. Let's talk to this guy before we go in. Firewall technician. Hello, Admiral. What do you do? Commander Ackerby has assigned me to make Starfleet systems compatible with the existing Bajoran one, and it's not easy. We've been slowly upgrading all of the computer networks on the planet since Bajor joined the Federation, but with the war it has been a lower priority project. Work in mostly rural areas like Hafon hasn't been completed yet, and now we are going to have to scramble to get the work done as quickly as possible. Didn't we have another response somewhere? Why are we in the area that wasn't upgraded? This is what the Bajorans offered us. The capital city has limited space, and other regional centers are in mountainous regions. That might have prevented us from bringing down as many shuttles and other large pieces of equipment that we needed. Hafon is mostly agricultural area. The tech is a little more out of date, but there's a lots of wide open spaces and steady supply of foodstuffs. Also, there has been some population drift from this area to the city, so there were some buildings that we could repurpose without displacing any of the current residents. So, our command center is set up in the arsehole end of nowhere. No wonder it stinks of manure. So, do we want to fight small craft or big craft? Let's go for small craft, because I'm a tactical officer and we need to be nippy. Come on, load. We'll get Reg Barkley out here and make these holodecks load quicker. Hell, we can get George of the Forge now because he's in the game now. Space combat simulation. Defeat the Jem'hadar fighters. Okay, if I can find them. There they are. No sweat. Alright, there's some more over there. Nah, still don't like the heavy weapon. It just doesn't suit the build. That ship's a little bigger. Torpedoes away! Why do I keep spamming the space bar when I'm not using a keybind? It's dreadful, it is. Muscle memory. Well, I barely survived that. I'm used to having Miracle Worker as an engineer, as engineer as my main, but I don't get it on a tactical. But let's heal up before we leave the holodeck. Just let the ship heal up, because you never know, we might be in battle for real. And I don't think cooldowns continue unless you're actually with your ship. Bit of hull. Got no engineering team. I wonder will that give me any hull? There we go. Now we can leave the simulation. Oh, you make it more difficult next time. I didn't even die once. Trained for combat against the Dominion fleet. Turn in fleet findings. Turn to... what's her name? Great job. With ship commanders like you on our side, I know we'll be able to retake the station.
Do you need something?
Thanks to you, we have everything under control here at the base. You should head back into the city to help the Bajorans. Colonel Cobus Pole? of the militia has been asking for assistance. Find him and he should be able to point you in the right direction. We couldn't have done this without you.
I'm here to help.
Okay. We've got to find Cooper's Foal, whatever he's called. Well, this Bajoran seems to want to talk, so while we're on our way, we'll just have a chat. What do you want? Oh, charming. Why are you here? Don't stick your nose in. This is my sanctuary. I come here every day for a few minutes before I go home. It's the only time I have truly to myself. I have 3 young children and a business to run, so even when I'm home, there's always some work that needs to be done or someone who needs my attention. I love my family, but sometimes I just need to be in a quiet place. And she's got another response. She said she had 3 young children, but she's not going straight home from work to deal with them. She's just leaving them alone, is she? What's special about this place? My family has lived in Hafon for more than 2 centuries. My great-great-grandfather was head man here when this tree was planted. Hafon was just a little village then. It has grown as the tree grew. When I come here, I feel the presence of everyone I love around me, even those who are gone. Someday I want my grandchildren to visit this tree. I hope it has the same meaning to them as it does for me. Well, isn't that nice? You go on home now and feed your children. That's what you work for anyway, isn't it? This looks like Bajoran headquarters. And there he is, Cobus Foal.
We have a situation here.
Yes, but please read the lines. Welcome to Bajor. I wish your visit here could be under better circumstances. This whole DS9 situation troubles me, and having Starfleet here on Bajor has opened up some old wounds, and letting the Klingons come down too. There's just like dropping a plasma torch into a deuterium tank. What we need to do now is convince people that they're safe and that we have the situation under control. Okay, he's going to give us more missions as well. What is your role here on Bajor?
Back in my day, things were different.
Now that Bajor is part of the Federation, my job is to keep peace here. That's harder with Starfleet and the KDF planet side. There are still Bajorans who remember the occupation. I grew up in a refugee camp, and I have friends and family who don't like the idea of any outside organisation establishing a base on Bajor, friend or foe. The Federation respects that, for the most part. Kurland has kept his people on DS9. That's fine with me. The militia is more than willing to leave anything that happens off-world to Starfleet. But now you're here in my city, that means you're my problem. Why are your people upset by our arrival?
Peace and quiet. That's what we need.
Our world has changed more in the past 50 years than it did in the 500 years before it. The end of the occupation, the return of the emissary, this Dominion War, joining the Federation, the Undying, the war with the Klingons. Bajor is a different planet now. Some would say it has changed too much. Well, good for you. Embrace the change. Don't stagnate. Peace and quiet leads to stagnation. Religious requirements or occupation overreaction? We'll take them both just to see. We need to find a way to soothe people here in the city. They're so wrapped up in suspicion and mistrust that they're not thinking clearly. The conspiracy theories are running wild and people aren't seeing how good they have it. all they're thinking about is old hurts and half-forgotten stories. Yes, Starfleet is here, and the Jem'hadar are in Deep Space Nine, but if you listened to some people talk, it's the occupation all over again. Go see Ranjan Ravil at the Hadara Temple. He's always had the pulse of the people, and he might have an idea what to do. Occupation of reaction. There are a lot of people here who aren't happy about Starfleet establishing a base here and allowing the KDF to stay as well. Bajorans have always been touchy about outsiders. The occupation, the war, same as we just read, except for this bit. There's a protester by the fountain stirring up the crowd, and we will have a riot on our hands if we don't put a stop to it. Talk him down, don't violate his right to free speech and assembly, but maybe you can convince him that Starfleet isn't the return of the Cardassians. So we've got a choice. We can either do the one in the temple or the one with the protester. I'll try the one in the temple because I remember the one in the protester can go wrong. Actually, let's do the one that can go wrong. A little bit of risk. Have some balls. I mean, I think the temple one is just go around the city and light candles. Whereas the protester, you have to do it several different ways, and it might lead to an accolade. Talk to Bajoran protester.
This is our home!
This is our home! The Bajoran people will not stand for another hostile occupation. The Cardassians did enough damage to our world. We deserve peace, prosperity, and the right to govern ourselves. Starfleet does not want to occupy Bajor. So you say, prove that you don't intend to occupy this planet. So now we've got a choice of responses, 4 different ones. Bajor has a rich cultural heritage. Well, that's not proof. The Bajoran government is stable. They don't need us to tell them what to do. That sounds interesting. We appreciate that you are willing to share this city with us while we coordinate our campaign against the Jem'hadar. Or, Bajor is a beautiful world. We have no wish to harm it. We'll try this one.
Bajor for Bajorans!
The Cardassians were able to pit Bajoran against Bajoran by starving us and depriving us of our basic rights. Any small comfort they allowed us as a reward for being their puppets was treated like we'd won a lottery. Neighbour turned against neighbour, and brothers reported on their families. In the end, many people were labelled as collaborators when all they tried to do was fill their children's empty bellies. So now we've got a choice of free response. Sounds like working with the Cardassians worked out for your people. That's a Klingon response, if ever I heard one. The Bajoran people were put in a terrible position. Some were forced to make difficult choices. There is no shame in that all. If it's that easy to convince Bajorans to turn on one another, you would have done so even without the Cardassians. So this is obviously the one to go with. You may be right, Admiral. I never thought of it that way. So you say, prove that you don't intend to occupy this planet. I thought we'd already done that. Bajor has a rich cultural heritage. Bajor has a rich history, and its people have repeatedly fought for their rights. We appreciate that you went out. Bajor is beautiful. We convinced him. The pop-up came up, so why hasn't it? Ah, we're talking to different protesters. We're not just talking to the one protester. We've only convinced one of them. We appreciate that you are willing to share this city with us while we coordinate the campaign against the Jem'hadar.
This is our home!
Many Bajorans love to place displaced during the occupation. Thousands died in labour camps for their homes. And even if you weren't forced into camps, life was uncertain. Do you know that when Golperak commanded the weapons depot here during the occupation, he executed 15 farmers simply for not displaying the Cardassian banner outside their homes? We are already seeing this here. Starfleet and the KDF are taking over this section of the city. Soon Bajorans will be pushed out of their businesses and homes to make more room for soldiers. Excuse me, dry throat. Yeah, we've got to convince more than one protester. We've already convinced one, we've got to convince 6. You should be grateful. If we were not here to protect you, there would be nothing preventing the Jem'hadar from landing and taking this planet. Or, we are grateful for the space Bajor has lent us. All of the improvements we're making will be left as a token of our appreciation. This is a temporary arrangement. All Starfleet operations will move back to Deep Space Nine once this issue with the Jem'hadar is settled. We'll give him the gift. So you say, prove that you don't intend to occupy this planet. You may be right, Admiral. I never thought of that. So each time we convince a protester, a pop-up comes up. And we've done 2 now. This is the 3rd one then. They all look the same. Prove that you don't intend to occupy this planet. Bajor has a rich heritage. Bajor has a rich history, and its people have repeatedly fought for their rights. Many of our facilities, including our sickbay and holodecks, are available for use by any Bajoran. That's the one.
Bajor for Bajorans!
Land wasn't the only thing the Cardassians took from us. They treated us like animals. Thousands lost their lives in medical experiments or were permanently injured through malnutrition and neglect. The Cardassians didn't care if we lived or died. The only thing that mattered was the healthy Bajorans could process more ore. The medical facilities we have set up here are for officers injured in the attack on Deep Space Nine. Our doctors have sworn an oath to do no harm to their patients. They will help anyone who wants to make use of their services. Or there were some unfortunate incidences, but I think you are overlooking the fact that the Photoso virus was cured by Cardassian scientists. Now, I think this one's the best one. Sworn to have taken an oath. You may be right, Admiral. I never thought of it that way. Prove that you don't occupy this planet. Bajor has a rich cultural heritage, or Bajor has a rich history and its people have repeatedly fought for their rights. Bajor is a beautiful world. We have no wish to harm it. I think we've done this one.
We will not be slaves!
The Cardassian occupation took everything from Bajor. Our resources were stripped away with no regard for allowing them to replenish for future generations. This planet is nothing but a shell of what it once was. Bajor may have lost some resources, but it is still an incredibly rich planet. Or the materials taken by the Cardassians were reinvested into Bajor through projects like the construction of Deep Space Nine. Ooh. With careful planning, we can prevent further damage to Bajor and even reverse some of the long-lasting effects of the occupation. You may be right, I never thought of it that way. How many more? We've got 2 more to do. We don't want to leave a mark on Bajor when we leave. We will leave your city as we found it.
This is our home!
Bajor was scarred by the Cardassians who stripped away her bounty, but what was worse was their complete lack of consideration for the environment. The soil, air and water have been poisoned. Entire species of flora and fauna have been wiped out or irrevocably damaged. New pests with no natural predators were introduced, and now they're overwhelming native populations. Time heals all wounds. Give it another century. We can work together to right many of these wrongs. It will take time, but anything is possible. At least the Cardassians left. A few voices are a small price to pay. A few voles are a small price to pay. There we go. You may be right. So you say, prove that you don't intend to occupy this planet. Bajor has a rich history and its people have repeatedly fought for their rights. Bajor has a rich cultural heritage.
We will not be slaves!
The Bajoran people have been fighting a war for so long we no longer know how to live in peace. The Federation rules us now. They may be kinder than the Cardassians, but they are still occupiers. Look at our history since the occupation. The Circle, the Colmar, the Marquis. Thousands of our young people are joining Starfleet to fight the Dominion and the Empire. Our only art now is violence. The freedom fighters of the past do not deserve to be called terrorists by you today. The Bajoran people have become some of the fiercest fighters in the Alpha Quadrant. Your skill as warriors is commendable. If you feel remorse for the violence in Bajor's past, then you have not changed as much as you think you have. How dare you? Are you making fun of our society? Damn, I got that one wrong.
Bajor for Bajorans!
Anyway, we've done all 6, so don't incite a riot, 1 of 3.
Bajor for Bajorans!
The first thing the Cardassian did during the occupation was to try and remove all sense of our cultural identity. When the Cardassians came, our artists and entertainers were forced to work as slaves. The rural way of life that had sustained us for countless generations was destroyed with our farmlands. And when the Dajara caste system was abolished, our society was left in a disaster. Artists became soldiers, and soldiers turned into farmers and bakers. We lost knowledge that had been handed down for generations, and the people were left to struggle through life as best they could. The Dajara was an outdated system that made discrimination acceptable. Bajor is better off without it. There is now a thriving soil reclamation effort that will repair most of the farmland damaged in the occupation. Artistic desires can never be destroyed, only suppressed temporarily. Artists will find ways to create. You might be right, Admiral. I never thought of that way. So you say, prove that you...
We will not be slaves!
Ah, it's gone to 8, not 6. I thought it was 6. Bad eyesight. One of the worst side effects of the occupation was the loss of faith among Bajorans. We have followed the teachings of the prophets for thousands of years. During the Cardassian rule, however, our religious leaders were executed and our monasteries were closed. The atrocities that we experienced made it difficult for anyone to believe in the prophets. What's even worse is that the emissary allowed the path of the Celestial Temple to be closed during the Dominion War. People turned to the power wraiths in an attempt to have their prayers answered. The cult of the power wraiths is a viable religious alternative to following the prophets. If the Cardassians made you abandon the prophets, your faith must not have been that strong. The prophets never abandon Bajor. Speak and they listen. Whew. I hate it when you have to read. I'd much rather they speak their lines than make you read them. I came here to relax, not to study. Turning occupation, return to Kubus. Get out of my way, you filthy Bajorans. Don't you know a Federation officer is coming through? Show some goddamn respect. It won't be long before we bust out of these little quarters you've given us and take over the rest of Bajor. Get out of my way, Bajoran scum. Go build me a space station. Talk to Cobus. I heard some of what you had to say to those protesters. Excellent work. I think people will start seeing things your way. Of course they will. When you're right, you're right. So, now petition the prophets or soil savior. Let's look at the soil savior. We're still repairing the damage done to the environment by decades of Cardassian occupation. We made a start on the work, then the Dominion War and the chaos that followed put everything on hold. The Federation has been helping us with the reclamation effort, but the work takes time and there is a lot of land to recover. There are several soil samples in the greenhouse awaiting analysis. If you have the time, could you drop by and take a look at them? Petition the prophets. The Vedic Assembly has agreed to allow you access to the Orb of Prophecy and Change. This is a great honour, but it is also a great responsibility. Many people want to know why the prophets didn't intervene to stop the Jem'hadar from attacking Deep Space Nine. I know the prophets would never abandon us. They must have a reason for why they didn't act. It is up to you to carry their message back to us. Seek the guidance of the prophets through the Orb of Prophecy. I'm going to get the orb. Cisco begged that fleet to be stopped. The prophets didn't stop the fleet, they just pushed it back a few years. So that we could have time to prepare for it, and that's why it's here now. Because the prophets don't kill. Petition the prophets. Hello.
Greetings. Do you seek the wisdom of the prophets?
What do you do?
I am a seeker of knowledge. I spend my days in service and prayer. The prophets have many things to teach us, but their lessons are subtle and full of mystery. It takes a quiet, attentive mind to understand. I am not as wise as Ranjan Ravel, but he is always willing to help pilgrims like me find our way. I may never fully grasp the wisdom of the prophets, but I can try. The journey to enlightenment is a blessing in of itself. If that is all I ever have, it is enough.
You mean you don't have a real job? You just sit around praying and hoping the prophets will solve all your problems.
Greetings.
I was told there was an orb here. I am looking for Vedic Corinne.
Vedic Kryn is in the temple office, just to the east of here. Greetings. Yes, the Vedic Assembly has honored us by allowing one of the tiers of the prophets to come to Hathon. We are the temporary caretakers of the Orb of Change and Possibilities. Ranjan Ravel informs me that you seek guidance in these troubled times. You are not alone. Many of us are questioning why these terrible events have happened. Go to the orb now. If you are fortunate, the prophets will answer your questions.
So why did she tell me that Perel was in the office next door? Maybe I need to know that after I've been to the orb. Maybe I need his help to interpret what they tell me. Use the Orb of Prophecy and Change. Hey, get your hands off our orb, occupier. We have the prophets fit to return the... Huh? I didn't get time to read that.
You are not grateful. We saved Bajor at the Cisco's insistence. It cost him dearly.
We moved the fleet, but we needed to put it back.
A hand that remains closed
ceases to be a hand.
The fleet needs to exist, as you must return.
You lousy sons of bitches. Turn in petition the prophets. Return to Colonel. Oh, so I don't have to talk to Ranjin, Ruji, Ranjin, thingy-majiggy. I'm going to talk to him anyway.
How can I help you?
What are you doing?
Peace be with you.
My task is to try to convey the wisdom of the prophets to the people of Havon. The ways of the celestial temple are mysterious. What can be understood, however, is love. The prophets. Oh, we've read all this in a previous video. I'm not going through it all again. To be honest, I'm getting a bit sick of all this reading. I'd much rather just listen to them say their lines.
Peace and quiet.
Commander Agaby
That's
needs
what
your
we
help
need.
with communications. Report to her and she can give you the details. Hang on a minute. No. Before we go back to her though, let's just have a look around some of these other places because there are people to talk to. Talk to militia officer. Do you need some ammo? Tell me about the Bajor militia. Some people say we're the ones who were left behind. What is now the militia was formed out of the resistance to the Cardassian occupation. We protected the planet, worked on Deep Space Nine side by side with Starfleet, and even began sending out our own ships. Joining the Federation changed all that. Now the militia isn't needed anymore anywhere but on Bajor. Hundreds of militia officers applied to join Starfleet after we signed the Federation Charter. Most of the best of our young people go to the Academy. The militia is a planetary organization now. We patrol the cities, help in times of crisis, handle functions like immigration and security, and we don't ever leave home. Starfleet can take care of space. Those of us who are still in the militia are here because we love Bajor. I don't need to explore the galaxy. Everything I could possibly want is right here. Good for you, but you should be a Starfleet officer. Starfleet should be the police force around here. You've got to help us with our occupation. Yeah, before we go to Commander Agaby, I just want to have a look around, see if there's anyone else to talk to. Or anything to find. Shouldn't that be a Ferengi? This is a cargo place. Talk to Freight Depot Officer. How can I help you? What's your opinion of the situation here? First there was the occupation, and then the turbulence of the provisional governments. When things finally started to look up, the Dominion War started. There were days when I didn't know if Bajor would survive. We were in the hands of the prophets. Since then, there have been a lot of improvements. I don't care what other people say. Joining the Federation has been good for Bajor. If pitching in when there's work to be done is the price for all of the prosperity and advancements that the Federation have brought to Bajor, it's worth it. Good man! You can be a trusted informant. Let's see if there's anyone else to talk to before we go to Commander Jem'hadar.
Hello there, friend. Do you need assistance?
What do you do?
I get my hands dirty for the good of Bajor. We have a full-time botanist on staff here.
We've
but
already
I'm
done
the
this
one
in
who
another
helps
video.
Translate the science into practical applications farmers in this region can use to improve their crops. I've loved green and growing things since I was a child. Some of my earliest memories are of helping my grandmother in the garden, as she taught me the names of all the plants and how to care for them.
He looks just like the protesters, every single one of them. They're all Bajor's clones or something, and they like Stargate's Asgard.
No matter how much Bajor advances, it will always be a world that respects and values its forests and farms. We live in harmony with our world, just as the prophets intended.
Good for you. What's this mist? Good for you. Here's a shovel. Get to work. Dig some trenches around this place so we can defend it better. Here's someone to talk to.
May the prophets bless you.
Tell me about this place.
This is the heart of Hathon. The buildings surrounding this plaza were the first buildings constructed in the city. Here, our ancestors raised their families and gave thanks to the prophets for their many blessings. It is here that people come to talk to their neighbors, and here that we gather each year for the Gratitude Festival. But it is also a place of dark memories. The Cardassians had new laws we had to follow. They posted them here. When the food rationing started, we came here to collect the scraps they gave us. When they took our sons and daughters to the mining camps, the trucks stopped here to collect them. And when Gul Perek executed 15 farmers, he hung their bodies here to remind us that Bajoran lives were meaningless to him and his thugs.
Good God, somebody give you a happy pill. I'm surprised the Bajorans allowed Starfleet to set up base here with the Klingons. You'd think they would have said, go to one of our moons, set it up there. Nothing there to look at. Got to check everything out at least once. Nothing there. No hidden missions, maybe? And she's not selling? Oh, maybe she is. What do you serve here? We have spring wine, fine Deca tea, fresh moba fruit, and larish pie, and the spiciest hasperat in the province. Nothing is replicated, it's all from local farms. That's what people around here like. That's what they like. Something familiar and made with care. After we joined the Federation, I tried to bring in some tastes from other worlds, but no one was interested. It took me weeks to get rid of all that Andorian cabbage soup. She's got another response somewhere. Could I see the menu? No. smoothly. Talk to food vendor again. Same one again. Nothing there. Nothing there. Just making sure I've done a thorough playthrough of all of this. I think we spoke to this guy before in another video, but what the hell?
Sir, it's an honor to have you here on Bajor.
Well, thanks. You look just like a protester.
I'm sorry, sir, but I don't have clearance to allow anyone past this point without prior authorization from Colonel Kubas or Commander Echebe.
You patak! Don't you know who I am? I'm a fleet admiral. I outrank both of them. And I'm the administrator of Bajor. So, I'm in charge. I've run the place.
Sir, it's an honor. We're part of the Federation now. It's the duty of all Bajorans to do whatever we can to assist in a crisis. But permission to speak freely, sir?
Only if you respect your prefect and get down on your knees to me.
I don't think the Klingons should be here. They're our enemies, and they're causing trouble. And how do we know they won't sabotage the fleet or do something down here that could endanger Bajor?
You don't, that's the problem. Nope. Sometimes jumping up on things give you accolades, but I don't know if there's any around here. Oh god, sick people, let's get out of here. Don't want to catch the lurgy. What do you need, Admiral? Well, I need a little something to get me going in the morning, a little something to close down the night, and a little something to get me through the day. I know I've got no medical need, but you know how it is, sweet cheeks. You gotta be the prettiest damn doctor I've ever seen. Treat injuries? No, we don't have any. Good. What do you do? DS9's CMO is on board the Defiant with Captain Kirtland handling things with the fleet. It's my job to deal with all of the patients here on the ground. I have wounded from the battle, refugees who are still in shock, developing psychological trauma, not to mention all of the Bajorans who are coming here for assistance. It's more than any medical team should have to deal with, but we're doing the best we can. I became a doctor and signed on with Starfleet to help people. I didn't realize I would spend so much of my time doing battlefield triage. Good for you. Excuse me a minute. Yeah, that's better. What's the matter with you? You take 2 of these and call me in the morning. Doctor gave me a pill and I got a new kidney. Chief Engineer, what do you do? Normally I would be on Deep Space Nine trying to keep that old station humming. It's not easy, but it's the best job in the world. I love every stem bolt and power conduit in that place. That's not possible right now, so Captain Kirtland has sent me here to build a base that we can use to coordinate the counter-offensive. I've got more work than I can handle, but I can't stop thinking about my station. You think it's bad down here? Wait until I get back to Deep Space Nine and have to fix everything that Jem'hadar are doing. Busy man. Trusted engineer. We've already spoken to her. We've already spoken to him. Does she have anything
Do you
more
need
to
something?
offer? Nope. Anyone else around here we can talk to before going back to continue the mission? Oh, she's got some boobs on her. He looks like the protester, but without any hair. Okay, it's back to Commander... Oh, who's this? To Cadet Sorma. We have a situation. Ah, we've got a side mission here. Standoff. Excuse me, Admiral. I've discovered something and I don't know who else to talk to. While repairing a communications subsystem, I intercepted a transmission from Cardassian ships in orbit and discovered something unusual. There is a subspace distress signal buried within the transmission. I can't tell which ship is sending it, but one of them is clearly in distress. Both captains are part of the Cardassian Civil Defense Force, but it sounds like tensions are high and possibly coming to a head. With everything happening on the ground, I can't get anyone to help me. Is there any chance you could look into this for me? Resolve conflict between Cardassian ships in the Bajoran system. Might as well accept that. Select your ship and shuttle requisitions. Well, we don't need to do that. What's through here? Are we missing anything anywhere? No. Shall we talk to her first, or shall we do that standoff thing? Let's talk to her first. We will retake Deep Space Nine. Where is Captain Kurland?
Give me a sit rep.
Kurland is running things from his end on board the Defiant. They're in orbit at Bajor right now, but ready to move to the Gamma Quadrant or back to Deep Space Nine if the situation changes. With the loss of Commander Andrews, Starfleet knew Captain Kurland would need some assistance here, and I'm used to a little chaos. My last posting was coordinating refugee transports out of the Eta Eridani. I handle things here on the ground, and he can coordinate a counterattack.
I have new orders for you.
Is there anything else that needs to be done? We've managed to set up a subspace relay outside in the courtyard. I need you to try to pick up any transmissions coming from Deep Space Nine. We need intel. Anything we can about the state of things on the station will help. Okay, subspace spy works. Gather intelligence on the Dominion presence on Deep Space Nine. We've managed to set up a subspace relay outside in the courtyard. I need you to try to pick up any transmission coming from Deep Space Nine. We need anything we can learn about the state of things on the station will help.
I have new orders for you.
No, you don't. You just get them to me. And there's nothing new now. So, I think I've got 3 missions now to do with this subspace whatchamacallit thingy. Scan frequencies. Signal detected. Lower scan frequency. Contact frequency is there. Current band is megahertz. Increase scan frequency. Accessing ops. Do you need to proceed? Initiate communication. Who is this? Ooh, Jem'hadar. Accessing Dabo with Lita. Do you want to proceed?
Dabo!
Well, thanks for that. Accessing Replicator Network 47. Do you want to proceed? Initiate contact. Would you like iced Raptorino or hot? Sweet or with cream? Please specify your preference before replicating and remember to recycle your mug. Accessing Niners. Do you want to proceed? Initiate communication. Welcome to Niners Sweets and Treats remote ordering system. Would you like to order a Jem'hadar stick delivery? Accessing Bashir 62. Do you want to proceed? Vic's Las Vegas Lounge. Nah, Vic ain't here right now. He's playing golf with Dean and Sammy. You want to leave a message? Coward, he's gone hiding in the puffer. Accessing security office. Do you want to proceed? Access denied. Whoops. Wrong button. Accessing private network. Please stand by. Initiate communication. Hey, who is this? How did you find this channel? Wait, don't terminate this communication. I'm a friend. Oh, wait, I know you. I recognize you from earlier. You were trying to help that Defuri ambassador get a holosphere appointment. I like your style. I'm Hadron, the bartender at Quarks. This is my alternate subspace communication channel. I use it for business matters. Legitimate, legal business. Sometimes I don't want Curlin and company listening in on my dealings, but that doesn't make them any less legitimate. Can you tell me anything about the Jem'hadar on the station? They're terrible for business. There's a lot of them. They're mean. They don't eat or drink, and they brought Ketracel White with them. The Vorta with them has been in once or twice. Always orders Tulaberries, never talks and never pays. My profits are going down the drain. Hey, you are planning on coming back, right? Bringing the fleet back to kick these guys out? I need actual paying customers. I'll even give a discount on all drinks for the first hour after the station is reclaimed. Top shelf drinks excluded, of course. We are taking Deep Space Nine back, but we need your help. Oh right, the Jem'hadar Alpha is named Karakan. He's a real rough customer, the biggest and the meanest one of them all. He's got a Vorta with him. Her name is Loris. She's tough, but she hasn't gone out of her way to make our lives miserable. She's allowing those of us who didn't evacuate to stay, but only if we toe the line and don't give the Jem'hadar any trouble. Honestly, how is a business supposed to make a living like this? The weird part is that they think the Dominion War is still going on. I heard Loris and Korakan talking. They expected an entire Dominion fleet to be here waiting for them and a changeling to be in charge. It's crazy. They've been hauling people in for questioning, and teams of Jem'hadar have been tearing the station apart looking for this captive changeling. What happened to these guys? They get stuck in a black hole for 30 years? Thank you for your help. We will return as soon as possible, but you'll need to hold on for a little while longer. Well, that's that one done. Turn in subspace spy works, gather intelligence on the Dominion, return to the Mars, listen to the broadcast, go to Bajor system. So, go to Bajor system. So to do that stand-up thing, we have to be in space. So let's beam up for the moment to see if we can listen to that transmission to do with the Cardassians, so we can complete the standoff side mission. Listen to the broadcast, Cardassian broadcast. There it is. How dare you! I've proven my loyalty time and time again. The Battle of Korra 2, the assault on the True Way base at Adaka Prime. By the Spirit's Surgeon, I'm the one who recommended your promotion. If you do not back down and rescind your accusations, I will have no choice but to open fire. Even if you manage to kill me and my crew, I will die knowing I am fighting for Cardassia. There is no call for theatrics or bravado, Go Antos. The entire civil defense force knows who you are and what you've done. I myself am especially heartbroken considering our personal history, but my disgust for what you've become is why I asked for this detail. How could you betray your own all this time? How could you join the True Way? Do you honestly believe I could betray my family, my people? Why can't you see that this is a plot to divide us, to destroy us from within? Open a channel to both ships. Channel open. Go ahead, Admiral. Attention, Go Antos and Go Surgeon. This is Admiral Colt of the USS Stitching Time H, ordering you to stand down. Well timed, Admiral. You can be an official witness to the destruction of a former hero of the Cardassian Civil Defense Force. Admiral, I am not guilty. The True Way have somehow convinced the Civil Defense Force that I am actually one of their agents, and Captain Surgeon is ready to destroy my entire crew over this disinformation. I swear I can prove my innocence, but he won't give me a chance. Please, you've got to talk some sense into him. If he won't give me a chance to prove myself, I'll be forced to defend my honor. They may take me out, but not before I've killed Surgeon. Do you see, Admiral? How can you trust a man so ready to kill those he claims to care about? We should try to resolve this peacefully. Both captains will beam to USS Stitching Time H, where we will get to the bottom of this. Yes, absolutely. I'll beam to your ship immediately. And why should I agree to this? If lives can be saved, I insist we try, and while your ships may be able to defeat Antos, you cannot take us both down. Well, I'm not sure you can back up that threat. Truth be told, I still want to believe Antos is innocent. Very well, I will beam over to your vessel so we can find the truth. Although, honestly, I fail to see how this will be anything more than my word against his. Both goals are in the observation lounge. Are you ready to join them? Yes, I am. Goals chirping at each other. Bloody birdie things. You think they would have been called sisses or snakies or something, rather than gulls, because gulls are seagulls. So things seem civil enough so far, but I suspect that's because neither captain is willing to talk to one another. I've posted guards, but hopefully they won't be necessary. I will be monitoring the situation and will be ready to respond instantly if it looks like things are taking a turn for the worse. So we've got a couple of goals here. We've got to talk to them both. That one is Surgeon, the accuser, and that one is Antos, the accused. So let's talk to Antos first. Oh, I like the Cardassian ships out the window. And I never knew my ship had a conference lounge. Give him a chance to defend himself. Whoever did this to me will pay with their lives. So we've got a choice of responses. Standoff in progress. I am innocent. Please, you must help me prove it. Of what are you being accused of? Do you have any enemies in the Civil Defence Force? What is your history with Surgeon? We'll ask that one first. I have been his captain and friend for years. He was recently given command of his own ship based on my recommendations. I considered him to be one of my closest friends and a person that I would trust with my life. I heard him say he requested this detail. So I did. Maybe Surgeon feels there might be a chance I'm innocent and he wanted to make sure I had the chance to prove it. Any other captain would have attacked me on sight. Either that or he believes the accusations and wanted the chance to kill me himself. Since I was his mentor and the one who sponsored his promotion, my treason could do brutal and permanent damage to his career if he did not react with the proper vehemence. Of what are you being accused? Treason. Information has spread through the Cardassian Civil Defence Force that I have joined the True Way. There are also rumours that once I defect, I will lead the charge against my own people. Do you have any enemies in the Civil Defence Force? None that I know of, at least not yet. If this information gets out and people believe it, the better question would be whether or not I have any friends in the Civil Defence Force. Did you do it? Never, never in a million years. Would I join those murderers? I am innocent. Okay, I've spoken to you now. Now let's talk to you. Why are you... Hang on a minute. What is your history with Antos? He has been friend and mentor for as long as I can remember. In fact, it was his recommendation that got me my command. I hope you can prove his innocence. I heard you say you requested this detail. Of course I did. Honor demanded it. And if there's any chance he might be innocent, I have to help find it. I owe him that much. Does Antos have any enemies in the Civil Defence Force? It is possible. He moved quickly through the ranks and has been regarded as something of a modern hero amongst our people. Even though no one would admit it, that sort of fame and success is bound to generate some animosity, especially among my people. Cardassians value those in authority, but we tend to distrust them. But if you're asking if I think anyone in the Cardassian Defence Force would frame him, I'd have to say no. The alternative is unthinkable. Why are you accusing Antos? Based on recent information, I have reason to believe Antos has agreed to join the True Way. The knowledge and tactical ability that Antos has could be invaluable to the True Way. He could be their greatest weapon. Do you think he is a traitor? Honestly, I don't know what to believe. I want to believe he is innocent, but the evidence is compelling. What evidence do you have against Antos? There are 3 things that make me believe he's guilty. First, a transmission was intercepted from him to the True Way in which he revealed that he was working with them. Second, undisclosed True Way technology was found in his private quarters. Third, and most damning, we have a video of him killing a guard to free a True Way prisoner. I can give you access to each piece of evidence if you would like to examine them. We've gone through it, but perhaps you'll be able to catch something we missed. Sir, the evidence has been uploaded into the ship's computer and you can access it from the consoles in your current room. One of the consoles will give you the ability to experiment with the evidence and the other will allow you to research any relevant data. Okay, consoles. Analyze evidence. Please input request. Analyze transmission, analyze tech, analyze video. We might do that in a minute. But what's this one do? Conduct research. Please input request. Research Antos, research surgeon. So research the accused. A decorated veteran of the Cardassian Civil Defense Force, Antos has long been a major adversary of the True Way. Antos has been cited 6 times for bravery and performance above and beyond the call of duty and is the recipient of the Jem'hadar Cross of Valor. He is a mentor to junior officers and many captains in the Cardassian Civil Defense Force. Received training from Antos. A native of Cardassia Prime, Antos has a wife and 3 daughters. Antos' son, who was one of the 9 Cardassians killed in Stardate something or other by a bomb in the amusement district of Lucarian City, the True Way claimed responsibility for the attack. His son was killed. Research Surgeon. Recently promoted to the rank of Captain, Surgeon is a protege of Antos of the Cardassian Defense Force. Before changing his career track to command, Surgeon was an engineering officer. Surgeon is unmarried. His parents fled Cardassia Prime at the end of the Dominion War, and he was raised in a colony in the Atbar system. Surgeon is a noted artist whose carvings have been exhibited on Cardassia Prime, Bajor, and Andoria. The Bajorans display a Cardassian art? Maybe they did during the occupation because they had no choice. Analyze transmission. Play transmission. Antos here. Barkhad, I have some news. It looks like after all these years you were right. I've been a fool to side with the Civil Defense Force, and I can only hope you're able to forgive me. Forget the past, Antos. The important thing is you're ready to fight for the one true cause. I can get you in touch with the proper people, but on one condition. To prove your new allegiance, you will be asked to use your knowledge of the Civil Defense Force to lead an attack against them. I understand. I will do as you ask. Excellent, we will be in touch. End transmission. Maybe he's just a spy trying to unveil the true way. Scan for signs of tampering. Please no request. Analyze broadcast signature. Scan for post-processing. This recording was not altered after being sent. The transmission signatures match Kelden and Gala class vessels. No additional details available. Voice pattern scan complete. Transmission compared against recent samples and past arrest logs. Go Antos Backhead. So there's no tampering on the transmission. Analyze tech. Examine device. Shape, sphere, material, unknown sympathetic compound, potentially microporous but currently covered in a synthetic membrane. You mean cling film? Function. Possible weapon. Hidden micropores suggest a possible biological weapon or gas. Compared to known true-way weapons. No similarities detected between this device and known true-way weapons. Analyze security protocols. Security alerts and weapons activated. Awaiting response from device. No reaction or change in structure detected. Result: do not seem to activate based on security threats. Remove membrane. There is no obvious way to remove the membrane without damaging and possibly activating the device. It could be cut away, but based on preliminary analysis, a pulse laser would be required to perform the task. This could result in weapon activation and is not recommended. Oh, on second thought, let's watch the video. Scan for post-processing. Encoded signatures intact. This video is exactly the same as it was when recorded. No post-processing or editing of any kind can be detected. So the only thing we can do is use the pulse laser. Use the pulse laser has resulted in complete disintegration of the device. How dare you! You've destroyed one of the prime pieces of evidence. Now we have to assume it was a weapon, and Antos will surely be found guilty. You have failed us all today. Did I? Debunk transmission, debunk video. How? So what am I supposed to do? I've obviously failed the mission. So what do I do now then? It says debunk transmission, debunk video. Does this mean Antos was guilty? I don't think he was, but what the hell? Mission failed. So what am I supposed to do now? I can't debunk things because the consoles have shut down, so we can't talk to them. So I suppose we drop the mission and do it again. Drop. Cancel. Continue. Let's see if that works. Both goals are in the observation lounge. Will it start again? So things seem similar enough so far, but I suspect they would know what they're going to say there. But it looks like we can't start the mission again by doing that. So what we do is drop the mission. Then beam down to Bajor and see if we can get it again. I just hope I can complete this before the shard goes down for maintenance in half an hour. Wish I could run a bit faster, or beam down a bit nearer. I'll be able to do it this time, get it right this time. Let's talk to him first this time. We're just going to click through it all. I should be reading all this. I'm not going to read it, I'm just going to click through it because I'm a bit worried that I might not get through it all before maintenance. Okay, so I've got to talk to him now. What can you tell me, transmission? Transmission was picked up by monitoring station outside of Deep Space Nine. This was an accidental pickup. It clearly wasn't intended for us. The speaker has been positively identified as Go Antos, and the recipient was well-known True-Way Supervisor Brackwood. Such an important transmission was accidentally broadcast. It struck me as odd too. Antos is many things, but sloppy isn't one of them. Still, considering what he was promising to do, perhaps he wasn't at his best. What can you tell me about the tech you found? It is policy to report and catalogue any technology acquired during a mission. We don't know exactly what the item does, but preliminary analysis indicates that it could be a weapon. Do your people ever forget to log found items? Well, yes, it can happen, and truth is, it usually wouldn't be an issue. There have been many personal souvenirs that have never been reported to command. However, in conjunction with everything else that has happened, you can see where the concern comes from. Keep in mind that we do not know what the item does or where he acquired it. Do your people ever forget to log found items? What can you tell me about the video? This is the most disturbing of all evidence. You can clearly see Antos shoot and kill a guard who is transporting to a True-Way prisoner. Was footage checked for tampering? Of course, there is an encrypted timecode in the security footage that would be impossible to recreate. There is no doubt that what you're seeing is exactly what was originally recorded. What can you tell me about this transmission? It sounds like my voice, and of course I recognize Barkat, but I never sent this transmission. How could you think I'd work with that worm? I've arrested him dozens of times, but he is always released in short order, except, of course, this most recent arrest. He's bound for a Cardassian prison as we speak, and I was quite pleased to have finally put an end to his crimes. But more importantly, this message did not come from my ship. I can prove it. How can you prove the transmission did not come from you? I have commanded my ship for a very long time, and it has been in many battles. Over the years, many key components have been repaired or replaced. Of everything that's come and gone, one of the few original systems still on board is the navigational deflector. After a while, the deflector became a sort of good luck charm for me and the crew, and we've taken care to keep it in working order. Besides the sentimental value it provides, it also creates a distinctive subsonic hum that makes its way into every transmission that comes from my ship. Obviously it can't be heard, but anyone who's spent time aboard knows that it is there. If you scan for subsonic frequencies in the transmission, you'll find a distinct and consistent hum at 4 cycles per second. As any Cardassian engineer knows, this is directly in line with the prototype version of the navigational deflector, which is still in use on my vessel. These particular deflectors are incredibly rare these days, but I don't believe the person who sent the fake message would even know to add this subsonic hum to the message, and if the CDF is Civil Defense Force is claiming this transmission came from my ship. They should disprove it. Okay, let's debunk that transmission then. Analyze broadcasting, just scan for post-processing, filter frequency. Which frequency? What did he say? Something? No abnormalities. Sir, that's it. Upon further scans Antos' ship, it looks like he was telling the truth. It would be impossible for him to broadcast without that frequency being recorded in the transmission. Unfortunately, all this proves is the communication didn't come from his ship. That probably won't be good enough to convince Surgeon, but still, that's one piece of the evidence that can no longer be trusted. Some true-way tech was found in your room. And every member of the Civil Defense Force keeps trinkets from missions. Search any officer's quarters and you will find similar mementos. What is the device? I don't know, to be honest. I forgot I even had it. It helps. If it helps, I picked it up on Ravek something or other. Let's research Barkat. Barkat's arrest history. Charged destruction of property, arresting officer Gold. Bajor was seen in Federation Lounge with the tools and intent to destroy the establishment. Charges dropped due to lack of evidence. Intent to commit burglary. Bracer was near residence of Goantos. Barkat has been arrested 31 times, and the majority of those arrests have been made by Goantos of the Cardassian Civil Defense Force. While none of these charges have stuck, Barkat has been recorded as swearing revenge on Goantos. It is unclear why Antos has repeatedly targeted Barkat. Barkat's history with Moven. While not officially listed as associates, Barkat has been rumoured to be affiliated with a man named Moven. Little is known about Moven beyond the fact that he was a regular visitor to Quark's bar on Deep Space Nine in the 2380s. The information was made available to Starfleet records after Quark retired from the day-to-day operations of his establishment on Deep Space Nine. Quark kept detailed records of everyone that visited his bar more than once. Conduct research on... Whoops. Moven. Cardassian files on Moven. No information. Quark's files on Moven. I don't say this often about customers, but Moven's nothing but trouble. A changeling so dour he can make Odo look charming. He sits and rants about the Federation non-stop. Even worse, he doesn't order anything. He started 3 fights this month alone, and the broken furniture and glassware is costing me a fortune. I'd ban him for good, but he always pays for the damages and doesn't blink an eye at the premium I'm charging him. I can't stand Moven, but I love his Latin. Planet. Agricultural, similar environment to pre-industrial Cardassia. Inhabitants. Shack. Culture, customs. The Shack have chosen to remain largely detached from modern technology in most aspects of their lives. The primary exception to this rule is devices that can be used to enhance agriculture. In this regard, the Shack are rumoured to have made discoveries that surpass modern Federation farming techniques. The Shack have developed methods to counteract dwindling nutrient supplies in the soil. This downturn is commonly attributed to excessive visitation by alien races. There is a belief amongst the Shack that visitors have brought bacteria to their worlds that the environment cannot handle. As a result, outsiders are generally shunned or greeted with open hostility. There have been 32 record attacks against off-world visitors in previous 3 years. Agriculture. The Shack main industry is Kenny husbandry. The Kenny are similar in function to Terran cows, providing both meat and milk to the Shack. The grasslands where the Kenny graze thrive even in the nutrient-poor areas of this planet. Kenny. Long thought to be the necessary evil, the Shack have recently adopted a new technology intended to turn Kenny waste into something beneficial. Reports indicate the Shack are spraying Kenny with these waste with a chemical that surrounds and hardens the dung. After enough time has passed, exposure to rainfall will cause the exterior membrane to dissolve, revealing microporous shell. With the membrane dissolved, further exposure to rainwater will cause the various elements in the waste to dissipate back into the atmosphere in a regulated and ultimately harmless fashion. One of these elements have sufficiently dissipated, the remainder of the shell dissolves, and the rest of the waste is used as a highly potent fertilizer. Research historical conflicts. The Shack are peaceful, however. The True Way attempt to establish a base of operations on their planet on the last three separate occasions. While only marginally strategically useful, the True Way believe that this planet's similarity to pre-industrial Cardassia will help them entice undecided Cardassians to their way of thinking. The most recent attack was stopped by the Cardassian Civil Defense Force led by Gore and Toss. So, it's a farming device. Exposed device to water. Exposure to water has resulted in the destruction of the outer membrane. Gases are being released into the testing chamber. Examine gases. Elements detected: methane, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and waste products similar to both the Terran cow or Rabbit Canny. While embarrassing, it is a relief to see that the True Way technology is nothing more than waste from livestock. I suppose it could be considered a weapon, but not in any way Surgeon is thinking. So the device just farted, and the stink proved it wasn't a weapon. Do you recognise this video? No, should I wait? That looks like Bacardi, is he? How did he... That isn't me. I would never kill one of our own guards, and certainly never to free Barkad. I hadn't heard that he'd been freed. If they think I'm the one who did it. It had to be one of Barkad's friends in the True Way. I don't care what the video shows. That was not me. Who did this to me will pay. Who are Barkad's associates? The True Way, although it's impossible to document, look into True Way. Okay. So let's have a look at the video. see if we can debunk the video. Research changelings. Changeling biology, we know that. Longevity, we know that. Identifying changelings. A changeling with full knowledge of this subject can be impossible to distinguish from the real thing. Currently, the only way to discern a subject's true identity is a blood test. Changelings are liquid-based life forms. Ability to shapeshift, their morphogenic matrix comprises their cellular structure, which allows them to take a variety of all shapes. The exact lifespan of a changeling is unknown to the Federation. They have been known to live for as long as 200 years, and it's theorized that their lifespan can be much longer. What can you tell me about the video? Was the footage checked for tampering? I have reason to believe the video of you is actually a changeling. I told you it wasn't me, but even if that's true, how can we prove it? I know. Let me watch the video again. I thought I saw something odd before now. That I know this. That I now know this. Aha, look there. In this video, the fake me is firing his phaser with his right hand. Normally that would be correct, but in this case, it's impossible. According to the encrypted timecode of this video, I was still recovering from an injury suffered in a previous campaign. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't use my hand for anything. Go ahead, check my medical records. It's all there. Antos was injured in console explosion on Stardate. Antos' right hand was severely burned and sustained multiple fractures. Cellular regeneration was ineffective, so he was ordered to report to Okaden Medical Facility on Cardassia Prime for rehabilitation and treatment. Records indicate that he was removed from duty for 6 days. Brilliant catch, sir. This video was tampered with, but it shows wasn't tampered with, but it shows a changeling. Antos was never there. Ghost Surgeon would like to speak with you. I hope you can prove all of the evidence against Antos is suspect at best. Agreed. Based on your findings, I have no doubt that Antos is innocent. The Cardassian Defense Force thanks you for exonerating one of their most prized officers. And on a personal note, I thank you as well. Please give Antos the good news, and I will prepare a formal report. And thank you again, Admiral. Thank you, Admiral. Without your help, my crew and I would surely be dead. I will not forget these actions here today. I can only hope that someday I can repay you the favour. Well, maybe not exactly in this way. You know what I mean. Accolade complete, Detective. It was worth playing that again. So it's subspace return to Commander Massey. Subspace bywork of watch previous recording. Hang on, secret shadow unexpected in camera. So that's it. The episode is done. We just return to Return to Messiakabi. Go to have on Bajor, subspace networks. Did we get the reward? Well, I think we just beam up. I just hope I can get this done in a few minutes left. I think the episode is over. One minute until the game goes down. Yep, that's obviously over. So we're going to have to end the video here because the game is going down for maintenance. So we won't talk to her until the next video, video 30. But this is video 29 and Alt Lexington saying, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, even comment. And I have to say goodbye now before the game goes down for maintenance. From Of Bajor in Hathor City, bye.